Gurue Dasa Vinapeka Atina Gurudev Kripa Bindujiya Gurue Dasa Vinapeka Atina Bindujiya Gurue Dasa Sakalasane bolo diya koro nijamani srihahina Sakalasane bolo diya koro nijamani srihahina Sakale saman korete shakati Dehonatha jata jata Sakale saman korite shakati Dehonatha jata jata Sabito gaibo harinama sukhe aparada behata Kabe no kripa labhi jano kritartha hoy venata Kabe no kripa labhi jano kritartha hoy venata Shakti buddhi Ami ati din goramore atma sata Shakti buddhi Ami ati din goramore atma sata Jogjata vichare kichu nahi pai Tomara karuna saro Yogyata vichare Krishna nipare Tomara karuna saro Karuna na hoile Kandiya kandiya Pranana rakibo aro Gurudev Kripa Bindujiya Gurue Dasa Vinapeka Atina Gurudev Kripa Bindujiya Gurue Dasa Vinapeka Atina Gurudev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Kali Kukukada Jadi chao hai Kali Yuga Pavana Nashana Shri Satchidananda Gao Hey Shri Satchidananda Gadadhanaran Taye Pranadan Advaita Papujita Gaura Nimani Vishwambar Srinivashishwan Bhakta Samuva Chitta Choda Nariya Shashara Mai Purishwa Nam Pravatana Sura Grihi Jana Shikshaka Nasikula Nayaka Madhava Radha Bhava Pura Sarvabhauma Shodhana Gajapati Tarana Ramananda Poshana Vira Vipananda Vardana Sanatana Pavana Haridas Modana Tira Rajaras Bhavanda Dishamatya Sati Kapati Ghatana Kama Shura Bhakta Palana Shiksha Jnana Karana Chala Bhakti Bhushana Rama Kali Kukur Padam Chari Chao Hey Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Boy Nashana Shri Satchidananda Gao Hey Hare Hadaya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita Shri Rup Sanatan Hatha Raghunath Shri Diva Gopal Bhakta Das Raghunath Jai Gosai Kori Charanam Mandan Jaha Hoiti Vignanash Abhishta Puran Jai Gosai Jar Muitar Das Santa Vara Pararenu Mora Panchadras Tangara Taranga Deve Bhakta Sanibar Janame Janame Oye Abhilash Jai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakash Shri Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakash. Get ready! Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Hey! Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Bolo Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pari Mujjamiyaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kori Ash. Hari Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamo Das. Nam Sankirtan Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Premanande, Harimo, Harimo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai God, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura, Hari Bo. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Nam Sankirtan ki, Hari Nam Mantra ki, Hari Nam Prabhu ki. Go Premanande. Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. We have to do our Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, what's the point? And we're going to do the English translations to chapter 12, because everybody knows the Sanskrit, but nobody knows the English. Interesting. Okay. This chapter is Bhakti Yoga. And let's read the English together in unison. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshiping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Rita, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. If, however, you're unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, for by such renunciation one can attain peace of mind. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor, and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination. His mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. He by whom no one is put into difficulty, and who is not disturbed by anyone. He is equipoised in happiness and distress. Fear and anxiety is very dear to me. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very dear to me. Please put up the translation to Kali Kukur. Kali Kukur Karam Jadi Chao Hey. If you want to be rid of the menace of the dog-like personality of Kali, then just sing the glories of the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. Just a comment about Kali. He's portrayed in the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. His personality, and he meets Maharaj Parikshit. And he's a cynical personality who is responsible for the influences that allow people to wallow in the material world. When Parikshit meets him, he tells him that he can't stay in his kingdom, but when Kali begs for shelter, Parikshit, as the king and protector of all living entities, grants him shelter, but tells him he can only have it in those places. He can reside there where people are committing sinful activities. And Kali Yuga is expanded all over the world. But this is a rejoice that despite the fact Kali Yuga is here, if one takes shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's the savior of Kali Yuga, one can be spared from the utter degradation that takes place, even unknowingly, because of the influence of Kali. We'll continue. He is the savior of the Kali Yuga Pavana. And he is the destroyer of all fear caused by the age of quarrel. Kali Boy Nashana. Lord Chaitanya maddens Gadadhar Pandit with his love, Gadadhar Madana. And he is the treasure of the life of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Nityayer Pranadana. The fair complexioned Lord Gora is the most worshipable object of Sri Advaita Acharya, Advaiter Prabhu Jita. He is affectionately called Nimai by his mother due to being born under a neem tree, and he has been named Vishvambar, the holder of the universe, by his grandfather. He is the only lord of Srivas Pandit, Srinivas Ishvara, and he steals the hearts of all the assembled devotees. Bhakta Samua Chitta Chora. Lord Chaitanya is the moon over the town of Nadia Shashadar, the lord of Sri Mayapur Dham, Mayapur Ishwar, the propagator of his own holy name, Nam Pravartana. He is the saintly in behavior, Sura, and he is the instructor of householders, Grihi Jana Shikshaka. He is the hero of those who are in the renounced order, Nyasi Kula Nayaka. He is the husband of the goddess of fortune, Madhava, and he is overflowing with the ecstatic sentiments of Srimati Radharani, Radha Bhava Pura. Lord Chaitanya is the corrector and purifier of Sarvabhaumacharya, Sarvabhauma Shodhana, the deliverer of King Prataparuja, Gajapati Tarana, and the source of nourishment for Srila Ramananda Roy, Ramananda Poshana. He is a great hero, Veera. He increases the ecstasy of Srila Rupa Goswami, Rupananda Vardhana. He maintains and protects Srila Sanatan Goswami, Sanatan Palana, and he gladdens Haridas Thakur, Haridas Modhana. He is very grave, Veera. Lord Chaitanya meditates on the transcendental mellows of Rajadam, Raja Ras Bhavana. He is the destroyer of all wicked mentalities, Dushna Mata Shatana. He crushes the cheating propensity of pretending devotees, Kapati Vigatana, and he is as beautiful as Cupid, Kama. He maintains and protects his pure devotees, Shuddha Bhakta Palana, and he condemns dry, speculative knowledge, Shuksha Jnana Tarana. He smashes pretentious and hypocritical devotion, Chala Bhakti Dushana, and he is the reservoir of pleasure, Rama. And now let's do the verses to glorify the Acharya. Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Payeche Keva. Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Payeche Keva. Who can say what that means before you change the slide and keep it? What does it mean? Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Payeche Keva. Yes? Shraddha. Yeah, she needs a mic.
I just know a part of it. So it says that if you give up the service of the Vaishnavas, then how will you progress? Or Nistara Payecha, how will you, I don't know the Nistar. Huh? How will you be liberated? Thank you, Shamlangi. Yeah.
Ask a Bengali.
Without taking shelter of the Vaishnavas and without their service, one cannot be delivered.
Break it down.
So Chadiya is leaving aside or just giving up.
Chadiya, everyone say, Chadiya, lead us all to learn.
Chadiya.
Chadiya.
Okay.
Means?
Means giving up.
Giving up.
And Vaishnava Seva.
Vaishnava Seva.
Service of the Vaishnavas.
Service of the Vaishnavas.
Nistara.
Nistara.
Deliverance.
Delivers.
Payeche.
Payeche.
Attain.
Keba.
Keba. Who? How?
Huh?
I don't know how or who. I don't
how?
know
It's a question.
Yes, that's the question.
And so what's the meaning?
So meaning is one who gives up the service of the Vaishnavas and their shelter, how can they get liberated or delivered?
And now give a Sanskrit verse that's parallel to give some understanding of the importance of Vaishnava. Don't look around, just say it yourself.
Oh my God.
You can use Prahlad Maharaj. All right, you can ask your daughter. She's got something for you. Well, she was just going to give you a hint, not tell the whole thing. Get both of them a mic. But you got to keep that vibration going.
I didn't.
Chadiya Vaishama Seva Nishtar Payeche Keba. All we're asking, we just need a corroborating verse from in Sanskrit. Give us something from Prahlad Maharaj, from Queen Kunti. She'll give you a hint and then you have to say it.
Evam Janam.
I forgot the wording.
No, you didn't. Go ahead. Evam Janam Nipatitam Prabhava.
Evam janam nipatitam pravavahi kupe.
Kamam Vikanam Anayam Prapatam Prasangat.
Kritvatmasat surasina bhagavan grimitam.
Soham Katam Nivrisrije.
Tava bhritya
Vitya Sevam
sevam.
means just a little bit, whatever it means. Okay, you to fill in that.
It's when Prahlad Maharaj thanks Narad Muni.
Evam Janam Nipatitam.
I think Prahlad Maharaj is saying that how can I give the service of your of Narad Muni who has saved me? He's telling Narsingadev.
And the first part, Evam Janam Nipatitam Prabhabahi Kupe.
I'm in the fallen in the deep well of sins.
Kamam Bikamam Anuyam Prapatam Prasangat. I was following one after another, material desires, and then falling into this pit. Then, third line.
Kritvat masat surasina bhagavan grihita.
But my spiritual master saved me. He refined me. He brought me to the position of Krishna consciousness. Then the last line.
Soham katham nu vrishijeta bhritya sevam. How can I give up the
Parallel, right?
Yes.
Similar.
Yes.
Okay, keep going. Next verse. Nama Shreshtam Anamapi Shachi Putram Atra Sarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupari Matarim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivadamaho Radhika Madhavasham To Yasya Pratita Kripaya Kritam Tam. Somebody give the feeling of this verse, the meaning of it. Raise your hand or I'll call in you. Yes, Shastrasar, go ahead. We need a little bhav, come on.
Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi. I offer obeisances unto him who is my Guru. Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya, by whose uncomparable mercy I have attained these things. And what are these things? There's a list. Nama Shreshtham, the most excellent holy name. Manumapi Shachi Putram, the son of Mother Shachi. Atra Svarupam, and Swarup Damodar Goswami. Rupam, Rupa Goswami. Tasyagrajam, his older brother, Sanatan Goswami. Urupurim. Urupurim is Urupurim Mathurim, the Mathura, which is the topmost city. Goshtavatim and Vrindavan, which is where cows are herded. Radha Kundam, Radha Kund, Girivaramaho, and the greatest of all mountains, Giriraj. Radhika Madhav Asham, and finally the hope of directly attaining the service of Radhika and Madhava. I offer obeisances to my Guru, by whose incomparable mercy I have attained this.
Haribo. Sugiva. Hey Guru Gyanadadi Nabando, Swananda Data Koranaika Sindo, Vrindavana Sinahitavatar, Prasida Radha Pranaya Prachara. Keep going. Hey Dinabando Koranaika Sindo, Kuru Prasadam Mai Mandamure, Lakshaparade bahupapagade tatpada padmestu matishta Krishne Yadyapi amara guru chaitanya radas tatapi janiye ami tahara prakash Guru Krishna rupahaya shastrara brahmani Guru rupe Krishna kripa kadena bhaktagane Shiksha Guru Keta Jani Krishnera Sarupa Antaryami Bhakta Shrestha Eduri Rupa Naivo Payantya Patitim Gavayasta Vesha Ramayushapi Kridim Ridamudasmaranta Yontar Bahis Tarubritam Ashubam Vadunvan Acharya Chaitya Vapushas Madhuri Saki, tell us what it means. Naivo Payantya Pachikin Kavayastavesha. Any aspect, any place you can jump in. Naivo
I
Payanti.
think there's one part that says, direct him how to come to you, or like direct the living entity how to come to you. I think that might be the
Which part is that? Swagatim Vyanakti. Swagatim means your own path. And Acharya Chaitya, Vapusha. Swagatim Vyanakti means that you show your own path. Through these that are mentioned before, and what are the ones mentioned before?
I don't remember. I don't know the word to word, but the translation I believe is transcendental poets could not express their indebtedness to you, even after living a long lifetime of Brahma.
Yeah, like Brahma, Ayushapi means if I had the Ayu, the life span of Lord Brahma, Kritam Rida Mudasmaranti, then I wouldn't be able to express enough gratitude. Naivo Payanti, Apachitim. And then, so what is he grateful for?
The spiritual master.
Yonta Bahis. Do you know what that means? Like
External.
Antar and Bahi.
External and internal.
Which is which?
Antar is internal, which is the super soul.
Yes. And Bahi?
External. Acharyas.
Comes as the Acharya. So internally you appear, externally you appear. What? To guide me on the path back to you. Very well done. Sugiwa means the next one. Without serving the representative of Krishna, nobody can approach Krishna. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my... Skip this one because we already heard it. Keep going. Go, 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 go. Next one. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss, and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I'm a doleful and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I've fallen in a dense myriad of sins. Therefore, grace me with your mercy so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. Although I know that my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Every living entity is eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be other than a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training his disciples in a service attitude. According to the deliberate opinion of all revealed scriptures, the spiritual master is not different in Krishna. Lord Krishna, our spiritual master, delivers his devotees. The relationship of a disciple with his spiritual master is as good as his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Spiritual masters always represent themselves as the humblest servitors of the personality of Godhead. But the disciple must look upon the spiritual master as a manifested representation of Godhead. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as the Supersoul and as the greatest devotee of the Lord. The initiating spiritual master is a personal manifestation of Srila Madan Mohan Vigraha, whereas the instructing spiritual master is a personal representative of Srila Govinda Dev Vigraha. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma, for you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us a shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevalapa Kati Sadma. Bando mui savadana bhakti. Jahara prasade bhai bhavato Priya Jai. Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Ke. Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Oikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Anakori ho mane hiyasha. Anakori ho mane asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aishe Sahamagati. Sri Guru Charane Rate Aise Uttama Gati. Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Jai Prasade Pure Sarva Asha. Dan dilo jai, jani jani Prabhu jai. Divya Gyan Hriday Pokashito. Divya Gyan Hriday Pokashito. Vinata Jate. Prema Bhakti Jahoite Abhija Vinata Jate. Pidigai Jahara Charito. Dede Gaga Haratarito. Sri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu. Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Ha ha Prabhu Gora Doya. Jaya Ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha More Pada Chaya Ebijash Siti Devana Ebijash Siti Devana Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Jaya More Pada Chaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Vishnupadaya Bhutale Srimate Namaste Saraswati Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarishatadine Gauravani Shunyavadi Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Chaitanya Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai Gadadha Shivasari Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Nam Bhajan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Prabhupada Paramahansa Prabhupada Astatar Sadashishiman, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Prabhupada Astatar Sadashishiman, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Kota Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopiya Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavadam Ki Jai, Shri Maya Purnavidam Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gau Premanandi. All glories to the devotees, all glories to the Sama devotees, all glories to the Sama devotees, all glories to Shishi Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Devitam Vishnadita Tramcha Dharanamam Nityam Pavitam Chasanam Kuru 3, 2 Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Jashodanandana Jaya Vraja Janaranjana Jaya Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Girivardhari Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Pure Devotional Service. The text is 19. And I'll read the translation first. Men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. And the word for word, please repeat. Shwa, a dog. Vit Varaha, the village hog who eats stool. Ushtra, the camel. Kadai, end by the asses. Samstuta, perfectly praised. Purusha, a person. Pashu, animal. Na, never. Yat, of him. Karna, ear. Pata, path. Upeta, reached. Jatu, at any time. Nama, the holy name. Gadagraja, Lord Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Shvavid Varahostra Kadai Samstuta Purusha Pashu Nayat Karna Pato Peto Jatu Nama Gadagraja Svavidvarahostra Kadai Samstuta Purusha Pashu Nayat Karna Pato Peto Jatu Nama Gadagraja. Please, a couple chanters. Shravidvarahoshta Kadai Samstuta Purusha Pashu Nayakarna Pato Peto Jatuna. Vaishnavis.
Svavidvarahostra Karai
Shvavidvarahostra Kadai
Samsuta Purusha Pasu
Samstuta Purusha Pashu
Nayat Karna Pato Peto
Nayat Karna Pato Peto
Jatu Nama Gadagraja.
Yatanama Gradagraja. Translation again is, men who are like dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, praise those men who never listen to the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Krishna, the deliverer from evils. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The general mass of people, unless they are trained systematically for a higher standard of life in spiritual values, are no better than animals. And in this verse, they have particularly been put on the level of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses. Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire a doggish mentality with which to accept the service of a greater master. After finishing a so-called education, the so-called educated persons move like dogs from door to door with applications for some service, and mostly they are driven away, informed of no vacancy. As dogs are negligible animals and served the master faithfully for bits of bread, a man serves a master faithfully without sufficient rewards. Persons who have no discrimination in the matter of foodstuff and who eat all sorts of rubbish are compared to hogs. Hogs are very much attached to eating stools. So stool is a kind of foodstuff for a particular type of animal. And even stones are eatables for a particular type of animal or bird. But the human being is not meant for eating everything and anything. He is meant to eat grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, sugar, etc. Animal food is not meant for the human being. For chewing solid food, the human being has a particular type of teeth meant for cutting fruits and vegetables. The human being is endowed with 2 canine teeth as a concession for persons who will eat animal food at any cost. It is known to everyone that one man's food is another man's poison. Human beings are expected to accept the remnants of food offered to Lord Sri Krishna, and the Lord accepts foodstuff from the categories of leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. Bhagavad Gita 9:26. As prescribed by Vedic scriptures, no animal is offered to the Lord. No animal food is offered to the Lord. Therefore, a human being is meant to eat a particular type of food. He should not imitate the animals to derive so-called vitamin values. Therefore, a person who has no discrimination in regard to eating is compared to a hog. The camel is a kind of animal that takes pleasure in eating thorns. A person who wants to enjoy family life or the worldly life of so-called enjoyment is compared to the camel. Materialistic life is full of thorns, and so one should live only by the prescribed method of Vedic regulations just to make the best use of a bad bargain. Life in the material world is maintained by sucking one's own blood. The central point of attraction for material enjoyment is sex life. To enjoy sex life is to suck one's own blood, and there is not much more to be explained in this connection. The camel also sucks its own blood while chewing thorny twigs. The thorns the camel eats cut the tongue of the camel, and so blood begins to flow within the camel's mouth. The thorns mixed with fresh blood create a taste for the foolish camel, and so he enjoys the thorn-eating business with false pleasure. Similarly, the great business magnates, industrialists who work very hard to earn money by different ways, and questionable beings eat the thorny results of their actions mixed with their own blood. Therefore, the Bhagavatam has situated these diseased fellows along with the camels. The ass is an animal who is celebrated as the greatest fool, even amongst the animals. The ass works very hard and carries burdens of maximum weight without making profit for itself. Footnote, human life is meant for earning values. This is called artadam, or that which can deliver values. And what is the greatest value of life? It is to return home back to Godhead, as indicated in the Bhagavad Gita 8:15. One's selfishness must be aimed at the point of going back to Godhead. The ass does not know his self-interest, and it works very hard for others only. A person who works very hard for others only, forgetting his personal interests available in the human form of life, is compared to the ass. In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it is said, Ashtitim Chataraschaiva Lakshams Tan Jiva Jatishu Brahmadipi Purushai Praptyam Manusham Janma Parayayat Tad Apya Palatam Jatu Jata Tesham Atma Bimaninam Ra Kan Nam Anashritya Govinda Charanadvayam Govinda Charanadvayam. The human life is so important that even demigods in the higher planets sometimes aspire for a human body on this earth, because in the human body only one can easily go back to Godhead. In spite of having obtained such an important body, if one does not reestablish his lost relation with Govinda, Lord Krishna, he is considered a fool who has forgotten his self-interest. The human form of a material body is obtained by a gradual process of evolution to one body after another in the cycle of 8,400,000 varieties of life. And the poor man, forgetting this importance for his own interest, involves himself in many illusory engagements for uplifting the position of others as a leader of political emancipation and economic development. There is no harm in trying for political emancipation or economic development, but one should not forget the real aim of life. All such philanthropic activities must be dovetailed to returning to Godhead. One who does not know this is compared to the ass who works only for others without their or his own welfare in mind. And continuing the purport, the ass is generally engaged by the washerman, whose social position is not very respectable. And the special qualification of the ass is that it is very much accustomed to being kicked by the opposite sex. When the ass begs for sexual intercourse, he is kicked by the fair sex, yet he still follows the female for such sexual pleasure. A henpecked man is compared, therefore, to the ass. The general mass of people work very hard, especially in the age of Kali. In this age, the human being is actually engaged in the work of an ass, carrying heavy burdens and driving tela, or rickshaws. The so-called advancement of human civilization has engaged a human being in the work of an ass. The laborers in great factories and workshops are also engaged in such burdensome work. And after working hard during the day, the poor laborer has to be again kicked by the fair sex, not only for sex enjoyment, but also for so many household affairs. So Srimad Bhagavatam's categorization of the common man without any spiritual enlightenment into the society of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses is not at all an exaggeration. The leaders of some ignorant masses of people may feel very proud of being adored by such number of dogs and hogs, but that is not very flattering. The Bhagavatam openly declares that although a person may be a great leader of such dogs and hogs disguised as men, if he has no taste for being enlightened by the science of Krishna, such a leader is also an animal and nothing more. He may be designated as a powerful, strong animal or a big animal, but in the estimation of Srimad Bhagavatam, he is never given a place in the category of a man on account of his atheistic temperament. Or in other words, such godless leaders of dogs and hog-like men are bigger animals with the qualities of animals in greater proportion. I first offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to all the previous acharyas, and to all the assembled devotees. Vansha kalpadurvascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. The demarcation between a human and an animal, according to this verse, Shva vid vara hoshta kurai samstata purusha pushu. Na yat karna patopeto. Patopeto means something reaches. And what is it reaching? The ear. And what's being said here is that those persons who are averse to allowing the transcendental vibration, the topics of Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and so on, from entering the ear, are no better than animals. It's remarkable that human beings have the power of not only speech, animals can't talk. They can communicate, but they can't articulate. They can't use grammar. There have been a few instances, as I mentioned before, of animals who could learn vocabulary and communicate, especially in primates, but not with syntax. And certainly they can't speak it or articulate it, nor do they like it. You can keep a gorilla for a lifetime and relentlessly train it. He's not so inclined. Meaning that every species has a specific qualification. By the modes of material nature, one is given a place in a particular body with a very specific purpose. And human life is very specifically meant for spiritual advancement. And the means for doing that is to hear about God. And therefore, Shukadeva Goswami is pointing this out, that first of all, if you avail yourself to hearing, which is a topic of the Srimad Bhagavatam from the very beginning, then you'll naturally make advancement. Because without special training, besides hearing in the association of devotees, one will naturally advance and one will develop one's consciousness just by the hearing process. Smaranta smarayantascha mita gauga haram harim bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya bibratyut bulakam tanum. Srimad Bhagavatam says that those who come together to speak about Krishna, as Krishna says in the Gita also, Machita magada prana bodhayanta parasparam Kathayantashamam nitya tushanti cha ramanti cha. It's the occupation of the devotees, is to relish speaking to one another about Krishna. This verse is saying the same thing, that is, smaranta smarayantas cha. You're reminding others of Krishna, and you're being reminded of Krishna by others, very particularly in an assembly hearing and chanting about Krishna. Mita gauga haram harim. And because of that union of the devotees coming together to speak about Krishna in an assembly or one-to-one, there's a way in which the tendency to enjoy the material world, which is an anomaly for the soul. There is no enjoyment in the material world because it's illusory. If you've ever seen a bird who gets confused by seeing its reflection in your window somewhere, and you're reading a book and you keep hearing an odd sound, a kind of pinging sound, and you finally go to investigate, put the book down, and you find that the bird, with its little bird brain, is bashing its head against the window, thinking that there's another bird there. And this is the impetus for coming into this world or staying in the world to try to extract some happiness. It's a futile activity because there's nothing in it for us. And in the process, we try to exploit others, which is the nature of the material world. It's an exploitative environment because you have to live at the cost of others. And therefore, there's an entanglement which holds us so tightly that it's impossible to get out by any scheme that one might come up with one's intelligence. However, by hearing and chanting in the association of devotees, Mito Gauga Haram Harim, Hari, Krishna, whose tendency is to take away our burden of sins, will relieve us of those reactions that hold us very tightly to the illusory material energy. And then bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya. Wondrously, we move from a preliminary stage of bhakti to a stage of bhakti in which we're vitally interested in hearing about Krishna and serving Krishna. It becomes the very focus of our life. Bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya. From one kind of bhakti is born another. From the association of bhaktas awakens a higher sense of bhakti. And how high is it and how can one judge? Then says, Bibrat yut pulakam tanum. In one's body, one will begin to experience changes. And that is, one will feel ecstasy in hearing about Krishna. There's a progression that takes place. In the meantime, back in the material world, there are various tendencies that one develops by being dulled by the three modes of material nature, and one becomes captured, which is called abhinibheshata. This word is used in various places in the Shastra. One I've quoted so many times in this class that I hesitate to say it again, but it's from 11.237, Vayam dvitya abhinibheshata syad. It's one of the foundational verses of the Bhagavatam describing the condition of one who's enamored of the material energy. And the word has deep consequences. Abhinibheshata, abhi is an intensifier that one is going forward with gusto into something. And abhinibheshata, it has the word vish. It comes from the root word vish. And avesha means that one becomes completely involved in it. Not partially, not dabbling, but completely absorbed. And when we're hapless because of not having the opportunity to sit with devotees and hear about Krishna, or we have no inclination to do so, then by our very nature, we'll be absorbed in the inferior material energy and we'll be full of fear. And this verse is a means by which Shukadeva Goswami is taking away the last vestiges of any attachment Parikshit Maharaj may have. After all, his notice was very recent. That is, he had been hunting in the forest, and then he stopped into Shamika Rishi's hermitage and found him to be unresponsive when he wanted water. He therefore indignantly hung a snake around his neck, that is, around the sage's neck. As we know then, because of that uncharacteristic burst of anger, the son who found out cried bitterly that his father was insulted, that is, the sage. the sage's son, was insulted, and he used whatever power he had that had been carried over to him to curse the sage, to curse Parikshit. Parikshit, imagine then, had to come home with that news and inform his family. What to speak of all his employees. Kings have a lot of employees. And they were insistent that he, of course, everyone might suggest, you just use the last 7 days here. Parikshit Maharaj had to break away and go to the Ganga and sit down and wait for the instruction of Shukadeva Goswami, as was arranged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had glanced, he had given a glance at Sanatana Goswami, who had come there as a surrendered soul. After all, he had broken away from his kingdom that he was managing, without pension, without any concern. He was incarcerated because of giving up his job unceremoniously, and probably with a little bit of insult added to the Nawab because he told him he was sick. And then was there reading Bhagavatam and said, you do whatever you want. And he put him in jail. He escaped. It was dangerous. He made it through the mountains. When he finally reached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had been given a gift by brother-in-law of a expensive chadar from Loi Bazaar's best. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that he was in a decrepit state, having been walking, and then had gone there, but he had a nice-looking chadar. And he looked at him and didn't say anything, but Sanatana Goswami could understand, doesn't like the chadar. He went and traded it to a poor person who had put up his quilt to dry in the sun by this river, who was a little incredulous because he thought, you're kidding me. You're going to give me this for that? What's the catch? At that point, Sanatana Goswami had no catch. He had already experienced when he had left the inn where he had almost been murdered because his servant Ishana had carried with him 8 gold coins. And there was some divination there that somebody has some money here. And the very low-class person, innkeeper, had planned to kill Sanatan for that money. But Sanatan could understand by the ways in which the innkeeper was being obsequious that something's wrong here. So he went to him and said, I have these gold coins. He asked Ishana, do you have any money? He gave him 7 gold coins, kept one for himself, didn't mention it to his employer. He went and gave the coins to the innkeeper who said, oh, I'm so glad you did this. It saved me from the sin of killing you. I was going to kill you tonight because I knew you had 8 gold coins. 8. He went to Ishana the next morning, said, I'm leaving. You keep the 1 gold coin. You go home and I'll go onward to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in that moment, he felt happy. That is, he had walked away from everything and didn't keep even 1 gold coin for himself. How could one be happy in such a situation? After all, we need everything we have and have to hold on to it. Well, not according to Shukadeva Goswami. Because after Sanatan came and met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, gave up his quilt, gave up his expensive chadar and came back, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was unlimitedly pleased to see that Sanatana Goswami had understood. And then he said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that a doctor is very careful to make sure that the last vestiges of the disease are cured and doesn't let them fester and then reappear. We have a similar mood here in Shukadeva Goswami. He comes in very strongly in this section of the Bhagavatam. he's telling the king, Parikshit Maharaj, what do you need cups and plates for? You just use your hands. You don't need a bed. Just lie on the ground. There's flats. You can just lie out. And who needs a pillow? You just use your hands. Just lie down with your hands. And here he's also giving him a rather severe look at the mentality of the material world. Those who are considered to be great personalities in the world, he's saying they're no better than animals. And then he becomes very specific about it, saying hogs, dogs, camels, asses. And gives the standard for what is a really refined person. Sadyo hridyavarudite tra kritibi shushu shabishtakshanat. Bhagavatam speaks about the refined person who has come to understand the real value of the human form of life and is able then to turn his or her attention just to hearing about Krishna. And so we have such instruction. It can sound a little jarring, which is good, because it's like, cut it out, wise up. If you've ever been chastised before by a person that you respect, you may feel shocked at first, but then you feel some relief. Even Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed by the sage's son, he felt some relief that, yes, I needed that. And so we can remind ourselves that the material world is not a place to dabble in. And it doesn't mean that we have to sever our connection to our job or even university or our occupation in any way. But as Krishna recommends in the Bhagavad Gita, Narupa masyeha tato palabhyate nanto nachadir nachasam pratishtam ashvatamenam suvarudamulam asanga shastrena dritena chitva. You should cut down your attachment to it. Even though you're going to live in the tree for a while, you should be detached. So Rishabhadev also says, Nayam deha bhajam driloke kashtam kamam arhate vibhujamye tapo divyam putra geyena sattvam shudyad yasmad brahma saukyam tonantam. Don't be a big fat pig. Pigs are pigs. And they do what they do. It's already described here. For us, as humans, or at least for most humans, it's inconceivable how pigs live. I've watched them. I don't know how they do it. They're empowered by material nature to live in filthy places. And they're oblivious to the purpose of life. Speak of these other animals, which are, I'm sure they can be very friendly. I mean, some pigs are very nice. They're even considered intelligent. Some people keep pigs as pets. So we have nothing against animals. Obviously, we love animals. But then you have their characteristic, which is contrary to the vital interest of the human being. The ass doesn't think that I'm working so hard and there's no reward whatsoever. Ma means you have to work hard in the material world when you're abhinibheshita, when you're absorbed in it and attached to it, you're obligated. Okay? Now you got to work late. And you don't have time for anything else because that's the price you pay to try to live in the material world. And somebody's always turning the knob up too. You think it's okay, but then somebody behind the scenes is turning the knob up higher and higher. And like, hey, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for that. So yes, you did. Because that's how the material nature works. You get squeezed. And the ass from the unscrupulous master who just wants to work him to death, keeps loading more and more on his back. But there's plenty of grass in the field. He could just sever his connection with the washerman and say, I'm not going to work for you anymore. I'm going to get my own grass over on that side of the hill, and you could do whatever you like, but I'm going to do take care of myself. And then camels are a very odd kind of creature. But the example here is chewing on thorny twigs and thinking, oh, that's very tasty. So there's a way in which we may cut ourselves on the thorns of the material world and then write poetry about it, how sweet it is that we're being tortured by the material nature. It's unnecessary. It's the topic of songs, poems, literature, the plight of the entangled jiva in the material world. And who do we have left? Dogs? Dogs. Dogs have to, I said the ass because he carries the burden, and then it's dogs. Everyone likes dogs because they do have good qualities. All these animals have some good qualities. So if any of you are listening out there, this is not personal. But dogs have to have a master. Otherwise, they get creamed. And you don't know that if you live in America, generally, because everyone has a nice, shiny coat, lives inside. And people love dogs for good reason. They see you come home, they don't judge. They just say, I'm glad you're back. So, all glories to their good qualities there. But they have a tendency to, they're required to have a master to protect them. And if they don't, then they end up getting picked on by, well, that's a too slight of a term. They get torn to pieces by rival dogs when they're street dogs and so forth. So this is strong medicine to remind us that we are and can be aware of our self-sufficiency in taking shelter of Krishna. No other master necessary. So someone may say, well, again, does that mean I have to give up all my relationships in the material world? No, but we have to understand what our real purpose in life is and be perfectly aligned. Narada Muni explains to Yudhishthira in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, if you're working for someone else because it's circumstantial and everybody has to, one way or another, and they say, do this, pick up that, go over there, you can say, yes, sir, very well, sir, thank you, sir. But internally, you should maintain your understanding that I belong to Krishna, and whatever opportunity I have to apportion my time more and more towards serving Krishna is my main goal in life. And we should also be fully aware that the material world is dangerous, and trying to embrace it or find pleasure through engaging our senses in sense gratification like everybody else does results in misery. Yehi sam sparshaja bhoga dukkha yone evate adyantavanta konteya nate shuramate buddha. Krishna says it in the Bhagavad Gita. You'll end up in a miserable state. So finally, my final preliminary comment is that human beings are fully equipped to rise above these ways of enslavement by the material nature. And again, the verse says that what is the means by which one can refine oneself to the point that we're no longer enchanted by the material world and that we're fully absorbed in Krishna. And it's simply the tendency to allow the sound of Krishna Katha to enter one's ear. Because it's being expressed in the opposite way here. Na yat karana pato peto. Those who are like hogs, dogs, and camels and asses are those who are resistant to allowing it to enter their ear. They're like, how do you do that? La 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 la. And want to hear it. And we create institutions to talk about everything but Krishna. Because after all, that's an archaic, silly idea that there is a Supreme Personality of God, etc., etc. There's a way in which the whole society is there to distract us and try to be absorbed in the material world. So Shukadeva Goswami doesn't take kindly to that mentality and then categorizes it in various ways and says, okay, don't worry, Parikshit Maharaj, you did the right thing, you're on the right path, simply stay here and chant. So this is meant for all of us. And you're not going to read this in the New York Times because they don't have such advice. Their advice is more towards which products will best clean your floor, who said what to whom in the political arena, how dire the financial situation looks, even if you think it's good, it's not. And it's a cascade of bewildering sound vibrations. But cutting through all that, we have the Srimad Bhagavatam, which brings us to final point of refinement, so much so that Krishna wants to be fully manifest in our heart and make us aware of his presence there, and so much so that we'll noticeably move from one level of practicing bhakti, which may be official or through regular practice based on the fact that we know it's good for us, to a point at which Bibrat Pulakamtanum will feel full ecstasy by the process, and that's necessary. Those are a few thoughts I had, and I'll take a few reflections or questions. Unless everyone's too shocked by the verse and purport, which we'll just sit here in dismay for some time, and then we can saunter off and have prasadam. And yes, Prabhu, please go ahead. Okay, 1, 2.
So Maharaj, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare.
So you mentioned that we are self-sufficient in Krishna consciousness, that there's no master necessary. But to what extent are we self-sufficient without a master? And by master, is that equivalent to spiritual master? And then a follow-up to that is, to what extent is one fully equipped without a spiritual master?
Yeah, I could have articulated that better. As parts and parcels of Krishna, he's our eternal master. We don't need to be artificially dependent on the material world. All our great acharyas, sages, try to divest us of the idea that if I don't hang on tightly to the material world and thus subject myself to these false masters in the material world, then I won't survive. As an example, Narada Muni tells us that, look it, why are you going to work so hard? Because naturally, because of your past activities, there's going to be a certain flow in your life that's going to come, and everything evens out. So don't be overly concerned in that matter. However, by having spiritual guidance and a master sense of those who are highly revered and respected that we can follow in the footsteps of, this is recommended. That by such a process, we'll be able to make steady progress in devotional service and in human life. So that my point about being self-sufficient is, we're not really part of the material world. And therefore, tasyaiva heto pariteta kovido, na labhyate yad brahmatam uparida, ta labhyate dukkha varanyata sukham, kalena sarvatra gabira rambasa. We get this algorithm from Narada Muni that don't feel overly dependent on the material world, because you're not. It's going to come of its own accord. And you can start transferring your attention to devotional service rather than having the preponderance of your attention into, I have to survive in the material world. Okay, who is next? Yes, please.
Krishna Maharaj, welcome back.
Thank you.
Nanda Pranam. So Maharaj, I could relate very well to the no substance based praise. So in my job profile, we see that there are like digital and engagement farms where on YouTube or Instagram where people want to promote themselves. They actually buy subscriptions from different engagement farms where robots will actually like your post and comment for you, and they will praise you a lot. So you'll get a lot of likes, you'll build this followership. So I could relate very well to how the numbers may be high, but there's no substance in that. So similarly, in this case, the material world praise is high for the so-called achiever, but there's no substance until the praiser themselves, as well as the one being praised, they are both Krishna conscious.
Yeah, it's a nice analogy. You notice at the outset of the Bhagavatam, Shaunaka Rishi, who's an elder and a highly advanced devotee, is the one who speaks to Sutta Goswami. And Prabhupada mentions there that if you're going to be introduced and praised, it should be by somebody who's qualified. After all, what's the use of somebody who has no discrimination praises you? What to speak of, it's a bot. Okay, there was a couple more. Yes, Bhakti Tim, Paragarangi. I didn't even see her.
Oh, Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Okay, yes, please.
Thank you for the wonderful class today. This verse reminded me of the story of the spiritually enlightened son and the cloth merchant. I heard this on Wisdom of the Sages, and I'll try to retell it as best I can.
Okay.
But there was a wealthy cloth merchant who was absorbed in his business. He had sort of an ass-like mentality, and he would miss holidays, miss time with family, and be absorbed with crunching numbers, spend time alone at his desk, and not really associating with his family or friends. And the son had became worried about the welfare of his father, and the son was sort of a yogi, and he wanted to enlighten his father. So he took him, I guess in India they have like funeral pyres where they take lots of wood and then they burn bodies, and it's more than one, and so more than one fire going on. So it's quite an experience. And so he dragged his father away from the desk one day, and the father reluctantly came along. And he said, "Look, Dad, don't you see we're more than just these bodies?" And the dad, looking on at all the burning corpses, and he says, he's hearing the crackling of the bodies burning and watching the bodies turn into ash. And the dad's like, "Oh my gosh." And he's grabbing his face, and he's in total misery. He's like, "What am I doing? What am I doing?" And he's like, "Yes." The son's like, "Yes, Dad, don't you see? Don't you see?" And the dad's like, "Yes, I'm in the wrong business. I should have been in the lumber business." So it just I ruined it. So it just goes to show you that even though we know that death is just right around the corner, sometimes we're so immersed in our false ego and our duties that we get lost. Thank you much.
Yeah, and then there's smashana vairagya. Smashana means ashes, and there's a way in which when people go, this is slight nuance to the story, but it has to do with the crematorium. It's well known when people go to a funeral, which is, you don't see that much here in America, but in India, when you see the body burning, there's a visceral reaction. I've noticed it. And Swargadwar in Puri, they have such a scene of many bodies being burnt at the same time. Foolishly, as a brahmachari, I took a picture of that and showed my mom when so, she said, never show me that again. It was a visceral reaction. In any case, there's a sense of vairagya, of course not in this fellow that you just mentioned, inveterately attached to making profit out of the material world. In Milton's Paradise Lost, there's a scene that's, if you haven't read the poem, it's a long one. So, but the angels have revolted against God and they're cast out of heaven, and they go into hell. There's a lake of fire there, and some of them are so interested in profiting from material nature and also enjoying the material world. They set up an operation because they find out from the lake of fire they can find some valuable metals that they can take out. And it reminded me of that even in hell, in such severe circumstances, the person who's attached to the material world thinks, oh, I can profit from this. But on the other side, Smashana Vairagya is known that when you see the burning body and then you realize, oh God, the whole world's temporary. But 3 days later, like, oh yeah, okay, back into it. So there has to be a change of heart. And that's why Bhagavatam's necessary. Not only just a visceral reaction that lasts for 3 days, but there has to be a complete overhaul, a refinement of the heart that I only want the aesthetic of the spiritual world, and I'll do anything to revive my relationship with Krishna, because I'm very clear that that's the only happiness of the soul. And until we have that intense eagerness for that, the material world is a siren. It's always calling to us. The siren, as in, there's some stories from antiquity about sirens would be these women. Their voices were so enchanting. When the captain took his ship past the island, and I know I'm not giving very many details, but the essence is there. Everyone would have to tie themselves to the ship, because otherwise they'd abandon ship and they hear the sound and they'd go for it because it was so enticing. And that's the plight of the soul in the material world. It hears about material enjoyment and thinks, no, I can do it. I need to stay here, even under severe conditions of being animal-like. And the effect of seeing a burning body, it lasts only for a few days. So that's why the complete course, medicinal course, has to be there, so that we come to the safe side, that we're no longer attracted by the material world. Not only that, Nashobhate Jnanam Alamdiram Janam, because some people reach that position. Naishkarmyam Apyachuta Varbachar. They say, no more material world, I'm not going to involve myself in it, and no more fruitive activities. They understand that part of the material nature. Some others who are materialistically inclined, like the Karmakandis, the elevationists, they also understand how material nature works. And they manipulate it through Vedic yajna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, forget all that stuff, Arjuna. Traigunya Vishaya Vedar. It's all to do with the modes of nature. It's an entrapment. And even if you reject it, it's not enough. Naishkarmyam apyachuta bhava varjitam nashobhate jnanam alamdiram janam. Narada Muni saying to Vyasadeva, it's not good enough to tell people just give up the material world, because that state is not maintainable. You have to have achuta bhava. You have to actually come to the point where your heart is yearning for your relationship with Krishna. I spoke about this in London the other day, and in thinking about it, what we want is a loving relationship. Nothing else with Krishna. Nothing else will do. It goes to Yene Ravanakshava Muktimaninas also, that unless we have, and that indicates, there's a person there. And what does person mean? It means somebody who reciprocates with us. And it's not even the beauty of Krishna, although that's unsurpassable, and we have to have that. Everyone's looking for it everywhere in this world, and they're not getting it. It comes and then they're so disappointed and become cynical. Like, see, it disappears. Attractive people actually become angry at them. Like if there's an attractive movie star, and then she starts to age. People become angry at her. It's like, why are you aging? Why stay the way you were? They become angry. They'll make harsh comments like, wear more makeup. Don't disillusion us by turning ugly and turning into ashes. We don't want that. So people want aesthetic beauty, but more than anything, people want a reciprocation that's real. Because they can't trust any reciprocations here in this world, even though they're loving and well-intentioned, nobody can hang on to it. And then it becomes even more torturous. But when they feel that Krishna specifically cares for them, not just in general to all living entities, and not that we're just part and parcel, and we have nothing to do with the material world, but we have a very specific relationship with Krishna, and Krishna wants us more than we want him. If you've ever had that sense of wanting somebody, they don't want you, unrequited love is another topic. But when you realize that Krishna wants us more than we want him. So, naishkarmyam apyachuta bhava varjitam. We have to have that sense that there's a loving relationship I have with Krishna, and that becomes our main interest in life. Then, whatever else we have to do in this world, get your work done. Don't lollygag. Get it done. But develop achyuta bhava at all costs, because that's the only thing that's real. And it's the only thing that will satisfy the soul, to have that achyuta bhava. Somebody else had a hand up question. Okay, Apara, and then Rifik, and who's on this?
I have a
Oh, from Mysore. Okay, yes, please. You had your hand up half an hour ago. Go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Oh, is it audible now?
Now it is.
Oh, Pranam Guruji Maharaj. So I have a question on the similar lines of the materialistic world. So, how this world is designed, like if someone is good at their karma and they keep pursuing that, our world is designed as such that we reward that by materialistic stuff. That's how, the world is designed. So I think my question, the dilemma, the question that I have is regarding the dilemma that if we detach ourselves from the materialistic world, then how do you stay driven to pursue your karma and to excel at what you're doing? Because the world is designed as such that it is rewarded by materialistic stuff. And if you are good at what you're doing and that is being rewarded by materialistic stuff, then how do you stay detached to the materialistic world to continue, stay focused on your karma?
What a great question, and well articulated. Thank you very much for that. Mm-hmm. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says you should change your relationship with the world from thinking that it's my realm to manipulate to thinking that everything in the world is paraphernalia to be used in Krishna's service. This is also in the Sri Ishopanishad, Ishavasam. Everything animate or inanimate within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for oneself, which are set aside as one's quota, and one should not accept other things knowing well to whom they belong. When we have the vision that I come into the world empty-handed, I leave empty-handed, nothing really belongs to me, then what's it for? Well, it's available for being used in service. Therefore, in the Gita, Krishna recommends that whatever we do, whatever we eat, whatever we offer, give away, should be done as an offering to Him. And when we have that intention strongly in our hearts, which is real wisdom, because nothing belongs to us in this world. If you get in an Uber and you say, hey, this is my new car, the Uber driver is going to drop you off really fast. because it's not your car. You're just you're being facilitated. So we're being facilitated in this world. So Krishna recommends Brahmanyadaya karmani sangam tyakva karodya. The person who's enlightened, who works, who's expert, they have good karma to fix something or to figure something out. They're empowered because they have that momentum from their past life. Fine. We don't deny that. Krishna doesn't deny it in the Gita. He says people have different kinds of talents. There's different categories of talents. They come in these 4 categories of those who are great thinkers, those who are great managers and protectors and warriors, those who know how to make money even if it's on the dark side of the moon. And then there's the people who are expert at serving others. And all of this comes by combinations of the material modes of nature, as you mentioned. You call it the karmas. So what Krishna says is, that's fine. We should recognize those. You have to live in a certain way in this world. You can't stop. But you should dedicate the result of that to God. Don't try to keep it for yourself. And someone may say, well, what's in it for me? Well, there's nothing in the material world for you. In the first place, if you come to that conclusion categorically, which Krishna tries to impress upon us in the Gita, he says, Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartino arjuna, mamu, etc. He says, from topmost planet down to the lowest. You may think, well, what about in Carmel Valley? That may be a little different because it's Carmel Valley. I mean, it's California to start with, and then Carmel, and then Carmel Valley. That must be mine, and I could enjoy there. No, you can't. But if you do service there, you'll be happy. It's your state of consciousness wherever you go, Krishna says. And if you have that consciousness, you can do a better job. You can use your karmas more proficiently than anybody else. Why? Because what holds things up here in this world, as far as efficiency goes, is everyone wants to put their own stamp on it. I have to be recognized that this belongs to me. And now there's all kinds of books about how to be an enlightened leader, a leader with no name. There's one of the books with no title, leader with no title, etc., etc. And people are looking for this kind of understanding in the corporate world. Who's the best leader? The one who facilitates everybody, because they just want to do it for service. So that's what all of the Vedic Shastras, or I should say Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, is leading us to how to live in the world without being overcome by it. But it doesn't mean that we slouch in a corner or that we become non-productive. On the contrary, become more productive. Who was the best warrior in the Mahabharata? It was Arjuna. And what was he fighting for? He was fighting for Krishna, not for himself. He had no vested interest. So that's the secret. And if we can take that secret, it doesn't matter who we are, where we are, what kind of job we have, once we have that in mind, and that's our main intention, we can't be touched by the material energy. And not only do we become happy, but we also become more productive members of society. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a pure devotee, but everybody wanted him because he was so expert at what he was doing. And he was also, read the last 6 verses in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Pure devotees are unusually easy to get along with because they're not dogs, hogs, camels, and asses, and they have such accommodating qualities that people are amazed by them. Let's see. Should we go?
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. Thank you very much for a great question. Just a couple more. That's who's up there? I can't see anything. Okay, Yashoda Vatsal, Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna,
And
Guru
then
Maharaj.
Vaikuntha Nayaka. Okay, yes.
If
Hare
I accept
Krishna.
my humble business. Key realization or takeaway for today is to reciprocation should be real. So thanks for reminding me of
Is
that.
what? What's the key take?
Reciprocation has to be real.
Uh-huh.
So my question was with respect to Parikshit Maharaj, where Parikshit Maharaj, in that story in the Canto 1, the Brahmanas, they already talk about his fate, that he will be, the baby will grow as a king and he will die with a snake bite. So the modes of material nature, were they already planned by Krishna for him, or he got trapped? So when I get into fault because of my little will, and we claim it or blame it as modes of material nature might have acted, how to relate this as Krishna's plan or against the modes of material nature? His behavior was with respect to modes of material nature, or it was Krishna's plan already?
Yeah, your question is essentially how do we relate to the actions, reactions in the material world? And it's given in the Bhagavatam. Tenu kampam susumikshamano punjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvagvapurvir vidram namaste jivete yo mukti pade sadaya bhak. That is, adjust your attitude to understand that Krishna is all merciful, and whatever situation I'm in now, Krishna is giving me an opportunity to come to the stage of Achyuta Bhava, as I mentioned before, by however he's arranged the circumstances in my life. That's the quintessential attitude which Brahma then says qualifies one to go back home, back to Godhead. Nothing else does. And so we should amend our attitude and see everything that happens to us within the scope of Krishna's mercy. That's happening by His grace. And if you're able to do that, then you're aligned with reality, and you're also eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. Atmakritam means, because of the way I've moved before, now things are coming to me in a certain way, and it's Krishna's mercy to purify me. So that's the case with Arjuna in his so-called bewilderment at Kurukshetra. It's the case with Parikshit, who had a momentary lapse and became angry uncharacteristically because he was a great Raja Rishi. It's Krishna's arrangement. And he admits it and sees it very clearly, does Parikshit. He says, "Thank you. I wouldn't have done this on my own. Krishna, you pulled me out at the last minute." We all have to be ready for that. We have to prepare for that. This is we're on probation. We have a probationary period here in this life, so we shouldn't waste it. We should be ideally situated in our consciousness and practice taking whatever happens as Krishna's mercy. Last one from Vaikuntha Nayaka. Thank you, Shri. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I was hoping, this verse was a refreshing change.
I'm glad you found it so. Now that's a good reaction, to hear the Bhagavatam and feel refreshed by a little slap upside the head. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Because everyone is anyway sugarcoating stuff, and Prabhupada is actually jolting us out of our stupor, my stupor.
Yeah.
So I was wondering how there is that other shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, 17.15, I believe. It says that, okay, the speech should be truthful, non-agitating, and it should be pleasing. And here we have very strong. Prabhupada is not pulling his punches, and he is laying it bare as it is. So I was wondering if you can share, like when we are sharing Krishna consciousness with others, how do we put this balance? When do we go the Bhagavad Gita shloka way? When do we actually tell it way Prabhupada is telling us here? is it going to offend more people and take them away, or is this the truth? Is it going to bring them closer? How do we decide?
What's required is heartfelt sensitivity when dealing with any living entity. They try to assess their necessity and their personality. When we were just in Italy, we were staying in a restored villa. It was just recently restored, like 5 minutes before we got in it. And the front door didn't latch exactly, so we were sleeping at night, and a cat came in and jumped on my lap while I was sleeping. And it was near Kulawa. Hey, there's a cat on you. I woke up and I was like, hi, kitty. And, because I was so happy, I didn't want to make him feel inconvenienced. He's such a nice cat. It's like, and so, I very gently wrapped him in the blanket that was there, and I carried him out and said, I love you and everything like that, but it's probably not going to work out. And he was happy to go back into the night, because cats are like, whoa, I can see everything. And, if it had been a tiger in there, I might have talked to him a little differently. But he's a little kitty, and he was happy, and he was purring and stuff like that. So I put him out, but I said, I'm sorry, I love you and everything, but just it's not the right time. And in a similar way, we have to judge people's countenances and their characters. Are they? If we have the intention, this is called mukhi prasadad. What comes out of our mouth should be merciful. And that doesn't mean that we're nicey-nicey to everybody and just give them accolades even though they don't deserve it. But we should be very aware of how to administer the advice so that people can get the best benefit out of it. That's called bedside manner. Like doctors who know how to care for a patient and are aware of the trauma that the person's going through mentally. If they have a severe illness or something like that, they're compassionate in the way they talk to people. So we have to have realization of how people are feeling and what they can handle. So this is a Saturday morning class, Bhagavatam, everyone signed up for it. And so nice to have a little dose, right? It's bracing. It may not be the first thing you pick if you go to a university or something for the first time. It's like, y'all's going to hell. And we might start with Dehinos Minyatade, hey. And so the austerities of speech, as the Prabhupada mentions, we should be careful because people don't necessarily like to get advice, even if you're well-intentioned. And he tells that story about the person sitting on the outside of the branch and sawing the inside, and a person comes by and said, hey, careful, and he's like, leave me alone. I don't need your advice. And then 2 seconds later, he comes crashing to the ground. And he goes, God, that guy must have been an astrologer. So we have to be judicious in the way that we present, and that's expertise at the right time, right place. Sadhus have that tendency, if their heart is invested completely in Krishna, and they know how nice it is, that even if it's we find throughout the Bhagavatam, sages curse people, and you might think, well, that's really harsh. But actually, it's mukhi prasadad, it's mercy, because they're already fully invested in Krishna. Their heart is already enjoying the relationship with Krishna, and they know there's nothing in the material world. It's an inane operation going on in the material world. And when they curse somebody, what comes out is their consciousness. And you notice everything is precipitated in Bhagavatam. Every major story, there's some kind of curse. And because when the curse is uttered by a person whose heart is pure, then the result is that that person gets elevation. Okay, I'll just make a concise last part of the answer is that we should be realized in the way we speak to people and understand, as a doctor might, how to administer medicine in a way that people can not be in anxiety. They take it in such a way that they can absorb it. And some scriptural evidence for this is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to meet with Prakashananda Saraswati. He came in and he was very humble. He first set the stage by, amongst those who are Mayavadi sannyasis, who are very full of themselves in the sense of like, we're Narayan already. Then he sat down in the lowest place in the room. That was the first place. First thing is you have to present yourself in a way that people will appreciate you. Next thing, Prakashananda came over and extended his hand and said, please, come sit with us. And Prabhupada mentions there that did Prakashananda Agata Sukriti. He got great benefit from that, from Mahaprabhu's staging that. And then Prabhupada says, people are already inimical. Don't make them more inimical. You should be able to present Krishna consciousness in such a way that they'll be able to appreciate it. So that comes down to first canto, 4th chapter, 1st verse in the purport. Prabhupada said that means you have to be realized. You know how to speak what the acharyas speak, but you have to understand your audience and say it in such a way that they'll be able to understand it and assimilate it. Om Tat Sat. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out this morning. And it's just such a pleasure to be back here at ISV. Thank you, Shastra Sarpra. This is very heartfelt because of many reasons, but one of them is that we've got something going on here. And it's significant because somehow from a little hole in the wall, we've developed a community that has some teeth to bite into the material nature and rip off a hunk here and there. So what we want to do is keep it going. Keep the transcendental vibration going so that you have potency, and let's work together to expand and overflood the Bay Area and the rest of the world in ways that will please Krishna and Srila Prabhupada. That's what you're all doing, so keep up the great work, and thank you for such a heartfelt welcome for us coming back from far-flung places. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Panchatattva, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev, if you so desire, please empower us to be non-envious so that we can work together in such a way that we can excel in spreading Krishna consciousness and offer the results to Srila Prabhupada and then dance in ecstasy for having achieved the impossible here in the material world. Thank you for considering our request. Now we have a special announcement.
Prabhu, would you like to say anything about the Bhaktivinoda Thakur month?
Yes. We're making an audible at the line of scrimmage, and we're calling the month, this month? This month is hereby designated as Bhaktivinoda Thakur month. Now, the reason is that his disappearance day is this day, and one of the focal points of our entire campaign started by us aiming towards Bhaktivinoda Thakur's disappearance day because of many things, which I won't go into right now, except for there's nobody better than Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And we want to dedicate this whole month to him throughout. So whatever we're doing this month, please consider that we're doing it by the merciful glance of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and we're trying to offer him something. And we'll give more details about how that's going to work this month, but don't worry, because it's going to be a great month. You thought Purushottam Mas was good. This is 1,000 times better because it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who's pure devotee, who restored the Sankirtan movement, and we're going to take shelter of him this month. And we have a few very specific ideas which are so interesting and effective that I don't know if you'll be able to sleep once you hear it, but we're going to reveal it in the next 48 hours, 24 hours, 12 hours, 30 seconds. You're going to say it now? Okay, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. So as Prabhu was mentioning, this is the Bhaktivinoda Thakur month. And we have been talking about, this is all aligned with our goal for the Bhadra Purnima, which is overall throughout the world, the goal is 100,008 Srimad Bhagavatams to be distributed. And here at ISV, it is 7,000, at least 7,301 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And in preparation to that, as Prabhu was mentioning about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we want everyone in this congregation. Everyone means everyone, including all the kids. And Prabhu was mentioning about animals, dogs, pets, everyone. Everyone to be included in this one, to be able to get the mercy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So today we are launching a campaign that it will be revealed soon, and we want you to sign up on our new website, not new website, but it's a website which can actually track how many sets of Bhagavatams you distributed. You have a dashboard, and then how many people have you influenced to distribute a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's not just about you. It's also about how you're including others and influencing others. So this is your giving tree or your influence tree that you can see it's growing. And we have a tree that will be displayed soon as well. So the goal is you sign up. This whole month of July is dedicated to that, to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Not only you sign up, but how many people can you influence to sign up to distribute at least one set of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I don't know if you heard about a presentation that His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu gave like many days ago, that it's simple. You just have to turn off your switch. There's a switch in the back, Prabhu says. You just have to turn it off, saying that what will they think, or what is it going to be, how is it going to be. Just turn off that switch and then just say your friends, your family members, your boss, your colleagues, whoever it may be, just tell them that we are doing a campaign to distribute at least 100,008 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. And we are doing this because we want to increase auspiciousness for you and the entire world. So would you please help participate in this campaign? And they will always say, and I have evidences that they will say, yes, I want to participate. And they will ask, what should I do? Say, ask someone else that you know. Either you give them a Bhagavatam set as a gift, or you can ask them to take a set that you can read with them together, or anything. And they will say, that's really easy. And they will sign up. And I have evidences of those who signed up as well. So it's very simple. Don't worry about what they will say. They will always say yes. You just have to try. So please sign up for this one, and that you distribute one set yourself, and just at least influence one more person to distribute a set of Srimad Bhagavatam. And by the end of July, we want at least 3,000 devotees, 3,000 people distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So we also wanted to show, yes, Prabhu, you want to say?
Just say, think in terms of participation. Don't worry about the result. As Malini is pointing out, the result will come of its own accord. All you have to do is participate. So our real goal is to have at least 3,000 devotees participate. And the way to participate is to first sign up, and then you can figure out the rest later. It'll happen naturally.
Should we show the website now?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Now, we have a traveling Sankirtan team in Portland. That's Mukaravinda Prabhu, Krishna Saka Prabhu, Haldarupa Prabhu, if you can focus on them. And Haldarupa Prabhu will share the website from his screen, if you can give him the sharing permissions. And then he will show you how simple it is to just sign up. and just enter your name. Okay, go ahead. Halaru Prabhu, you can speak while you're showing also. You're in mute. And we can't see very well on the screen here.
Hare Krishna.
We can see it. It's a tree.
Yes. Little louder. We can hear you a little.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Perfect. Hare Krishna. So this is the app developed to track how many devotees you're influencing, or your friends or colleagues or families. So for this, we have created a very passwordless login. So first, to create an account, just give your name and then your email address or the phone number, right? And once you provide that, then it creates an account for you. And once the account is created, now let's say you're going back to login, all you need is like give your phone number, email address, and then that will give the confirmation code or security code, which is called OTP, in your email or phone, and you just enter that as a next. So let me see here. I'm giving my phone number, and I just say, okay, one-time password, and I get right away, that number, and I enter it here. So it's also one way is most secure. And once you log into this system, let's look at, this is what the landing page looks like. And by the way, this is very first version of this. We are making a lot of improvements in this. So here on the home page, this is an influence tree, and how you have the different number of sets you have done it. This is summary here. If you can see, there are total 6 sets is distributed. I have influenced or inspired one person. So how do I record that? So here's a plus sign on a, and there are 3 options. First is how many sets I have distributed here, right? Second option is how, if I have inspired someone, I can also log in that person here. So let's say if I inspire to, like a Bhakta Shyam as an example, then I can enter, let's go to that, I can enter the, here, okay, I influence and inspire the Bhakta Shyam, so I can enter the number, his phone number, and the number of sets he's, willing to do it, or he has done it. So let's say he's done 1, and I enter his number. That records under my, tree branch, saying that, okay, I have 1 person I influenced. Now, this is one way I can enter that, and same time, Bhakta Shyam also gets an invitation. Hey, join this influence tree, and he can log in through his phone number. And if he log, like another person, inspire another one, so that will come under my branch. So I can see the summary of how is multi-level, this influence is really working. So that's a one system feature. Other system feature is I want to really just log my own, Srimad Bhagavatam sets, how many I have distributed. And I can log those and just log my distribution. So it just adds like now 16. So this number will roll up. So we want to see how it's roll up always to ISV. And all the influence person also will, you will be able to see how many they have distributed, and those will be rolled up here. I'll pause here for any questions and thoughts. Mataji, feel free to add.
There is one more option, is there's also what is your number. We also integrated the number of pages of Srimad Bhagavatam which you want to read until September, until the Bhadra Purnima. So that also you can enter here. So it's your personalized portal to see how you're doing, how your influence tree is growing. So this will be sent out with the QR code for everybody to sign up. So please do sign up. And please help Bhaktivinoda Thakur as well. So also wanted to say from the Sankirtan announcements perspective, the FIFA World Cup, brilliance of Anand Kishore Prabhu and his team. They have covered almost all the matches, and then they are done huge in terms of Arabic books.
Sadhu, sadhu. Bhalo, bhalo.
Not only that, they have just a table anywhere. They have it in the prime spot because Ananda Kishore Prabhu called the organizer, and the organizer was surprised. How did you know about this spot? This is a free speech area. How did you know? So, yeah, and so that is one. And then there is also another traveling Sankirtan apart from the devotees in Portland that you just saw. Another traveling Sankirtan team is in Lake Tahoe. I don't think they're on the screen, but it's Adinath Krishna. Oh, they're there. Kautakarna Prabhu and Adinath Krishna Prabhu also on the screen. A lot of devotees traveling, and everywhere they're going, they're distributing sets of Srimad Bhagavatam and influencing others to take. So please participate in this campaign.
How big is their tree? Is their tree getting bigger?
Who's the Kautakarna Prabhu's?
Yeah.
Theirs is probably now overflowing.
I really like the idea because when we have a sense of influencing others to participate, it's giving us a lot more capacity. So oftentimes it becomes concentrated within our own circle, but if you think of people anywhere in the world, somebody you might have known that has some interest, and you can spark that interest by telling them that there's a project going on right now to distribute 100,008 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, that's all you have to tell them. And then say, I thought of you, and can I add you to my tree? And then you can put them in there, and you can grow your tree like that for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. And now we have our keynote speaker lined up for this morning, and we'll rearrange the room. Within 3 minutes, we'll begin the next talk. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Oh, thank you. Mataji, is the mic on? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's on. Hi, Tom.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much, dear Guru Maharaj, for such a wonderful class this morning. It's not an ordinary verse, and like you said, this is an advanced topic, not for everybody. So thank you for the privilege of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Prabhupada's very wonderful purport to wake us up, and being the 4th of July and the 250th birthday of America, I think it's a wonderful way to start and appreciate Srila Prabhupada brought this movement to America, and then from here it spread all over the world by the will of the Lord, by the will of Lord Chaitanya. And this knowledge, in my personal life, I remember the first book that I read was The Journey of Self-Discovery, and it was actually an interview with Prabhupada. And the conversation actually was exactly at this point when Prabhupada said that there are 4 defects and 4 miseries, and what makes spiritual knowledge stand out was the truth. Prabhupada was so bold, he did not hesitate to speak the truth. And he was very, straightforward. And that actually touched my heart because, it's the absolute truth. And it's rare. So I'm very grateful that this verse is also one of those truths which we should all keep to our heart and remind us of not going into those lower modes, not being influenced by those who are affected by those modes. So today's topic actually is going to be how is Srimad Bhagavatam non-different than Lord Krishna? And Arna is going to present that.
Hare Krishna, today I'll be presenting on why the Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. Introduction. The Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled by Srila Vyasadeva. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hailed the Bhagavatam as the spotless authority amongst Vedic literatures. Srila Prabhupada said that the Srimad Bhagavatam was the sound reincarnation of Lord Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled by Srila Vyasadeva. Compiling this divine text gave him the satisfaction he never got from his previous works. All Vedic scriptures are like a desire tree, and the Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit that gives true satisfaction when you read it. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.10.1 Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanam utaya manvantaris anukanta nirodho muktir ashraya. All aspects of knowledge that are important for human beings are summarized in these 10 topics. Sarga, universal creation by the Supreme Lord. Visarga, subcreation by Lord Brahma. Sthanam, positioning of living beings on planetary systems. Poshanam, protection by the Lord. Uti, inclination to act. And Manvantara, the reign of Manus. Ishamukha, the topics of the Lord. Nirodho, annihilation. Mukti, liberation. And Ashraya, supreme shelter. These 10 topics are summarized throughout the entire Bhagavatam, with each topic more vividly described in each canto. The story of Uddhava and Lord Krishna. Uddhava was a dear friend and close cousin of Lord Krishna. One pastime of them was when Lord Krishna was about to leave the earth, and Uddhava was deeply saddened by his departure. He asked how the people of Kali Yuga would receive spiritual guidance. Lord Krishna then replied, saying that he would come in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, which contained his teachings, qualities, and pastimes, making it non-different from him. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.43 Krishna swadhamo pagate dharmanyana divisaha kalonasta drisham esha puranarko dunoditaha. This Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun, and has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Puran. What we can learn from this verse is that the Lord's guidance never disappears, but simply changes form. We can access Lord Krishna through sacred sound and literature. Srimad Bhagavatam in a nutshell. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the literal form of Lord Krishna in Kali Yuga. Each of the 12 cantos represent a specific limb in the Lord's divine body. This guides the reader's meditation down from his lotus feet to his head. The first 2 cantos represent his 2 lotus feet. The third and fourth represent his thighs. The 5th canto represents his navel. The 6th canto represents his chest. Canto 7 and 8 represent his 2 arms. Canto 9 represents his throat. Canto 10 represents his lotus face. Canto 11 represents his forehead. And finally, Canto 12 represents his entire head. Srimad Bhagavatam 12.3.13 Proshtapadyam Ponarmasyam Hemha Simha Samanvitam Dadati Yo Bhagavatam Sayati Paramam Gatim. If on the full moon of the day of the month Bhadra one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. The month of Bhadra appears as the month of Rishikesha on our Vaishnava calendar. Presenting the Srimad Bhagavatam anytime on a golden throne or not is sure to bring us eternal spiritual rewards. The Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, as envisioned by our founding Acharya Srila Prabhupada, promotes the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam sets each year worldwide on a mass scale. The Bhadra Purnima campaign. The I encourage all of you to support each and every devotee that's a part of this campaign in distributing 108,000 Bhagavatam sets across the world. So let us all put in our effort, even just to do one Bhagavatam set, so we are sure to go back to Godhead by the mercy of our parampara. Conclusion. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a pure and divine scripture that brings Lord Krishna's teachings to guide us in this age of Kali. By hearing and reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can connect with the Lord and grow in devotion and understanding. By distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam, our destination back to Godhead is guaranteed. Hare Krishna, thank you for listening.
May I make a few comments?
Yeah.
First of all, you're hired.
Oh.
I really liked your presentation. It was shastric dense, and then it came to a very practical ending. I was surprised. I loved how you brought out Bhadra Purnima at the end. That's why I said you're hired. I felt that you had a really intimate connection with what you were presenting, as it just flowed, and nicely arranged shlokas too. It really made a good point. Thank you very much for putting this together. Maybe you can present that in other places as well. Can send you around Hong Kong, other places where people could hear your message. Thank you for putting so much of your heart into it, and obviously getting to know it, and I loved it. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your encouragement. Any questions, comments, or thoughts at this point? Okay, we will stop here. Thank you so much, Arna, once again, for taking the time. I want to thank the parents. Devi Kumari Mataji has always been there for us for Sunday school and many other services that she does for this temple. And of course, supported by her Prabhu, and younger sister Rahini is also in Kaishara, so she'll be presenting soon as well. So looking forward to that. Thank you. I'll now hand over to Bhakti community for the next set of announcements.
We just hired someone for the announcements today, so just hold on.
Hare Krishna Gita Priya. Every Saturday we go on book distribution, right? Yeah. So here's one way to make it even more sweeter, by making the newcomers join Bhakti community.
By joining them to Bhakti community, we can keep up with them so they can eventually become a greater devotee. Here's how to connect them to Bhakti community. You go to the Bhakti community website and then ask them for their name, number, and email, and then click the sign in button. Then we can keep in track with them.
Thank you, Ovi and Gita Priya. So, like Gita Priya said, it's very easy. You just need to approach the person and make them fill in their name, email, just click the submit button. It's as easy as it can get. It just takes 2 seconds. So we have another new thing that is coming up. It's not new, but it's been developed by Pavani Bhakti Mataji from the past 2 years. But we have a Bhakti Buddies team. Basically what they do, they take the newcomers' contacts and they approach them. They send them messages about Bhakti community meetings. the mantra zone. So all you have to do is get the contact into the website, and that's it. Rest of it will be taken care of Bhakti Buddies. We have very enthusiastic devotees who are part of Bhakti Buddies. They are waiting. They are waiting for the new contacts. They are asking, when can I get a new contact? When can I send the message? So we are just asking all the book distributors, when you go out, just try to approach newcomers with that in mind. There is a platform where they can connect personally, and they can connect with Guru Maharaj on Mantra Zone and other sessions. And we have a lot of help. We have a lot of support system. So please take advantage of it. Please take advantage of bhakticommunity.com. That's the website you need to remember. bhakticommunity.com, and just make them fill in the name and email. That's it. That's all you have to do. Thank you. And we have Mataji, who will explain how much fun we have on Friday in Palo Alto in Mantra Zone.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Please come to Mantra Zone. I'm going to read, sorry, I'm a little nervous. It's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Please come if you have free Friday evening, please come. And we have here a lot of wonderful prasadam. Also, we dance, we speak about Vedic philosophy, and I feel very grateful to Pavani Bhakti Mataji and Vicky to invite me. Thank you so much. Please come. Hare Krishna.
Malini is here for any announcements. We okay?
Yeah, she went to China. We're in the final stretch for Vajra Purnima. And all over the world, devotees have risen to the occasion. We're seeing multiples of the banner photos coming in from every continent of the world. My interactions with leaders on different continents are noticeably at a higher pitch than usual. Somehow it's caught the imagination of the devotees, but it doesn't mean we take it for granted that it's going to happen. It's like an election. You can never take it for granted. You have to go all the way past the finish line. I can tell you that at ISV we've developed such a capacity that we're doing more in this one temple. At least our pledge is more than most continents or many continents put together. So we have a large portion to produce, and if we do our part, then we'll feel greatly satisfied. I endorse the tree of influence. It gives a place where we can expand naturally through networking. It's grassroots. So if you take a few minutes and think of a few people you could contact out of the blue. I'm going to call Richie Corsa, since he started me in Krishna consciousness, and say, hey, Richie, I have a way that you could do even more than this lifetime. Just tell me somebody who would take a set of Srimad Bhagavatams. If you do the same, I think we'll see something unusual which is coming out of this moonshot that we're making towards 100,008, which is innovation. And that's the best thing that will come out of this. Even though we'll smash the goal, in the process we'll also come up with some new inventions, and this is the best of them. So we're praying to Bhaktivinoda Thakur that anyone who takes part in this tree of influence or any of the distribution of the Srimad Bhagavatam may feel his special mercy. Prabhupada once said, when we were having a kirtan for him, when he was coming back from a morning walk in Mayapur, and he stopped to observe the enthusiasm of our kirtan party. We had maybe about 70 devotees from Europe and America and Asia. And we couldn't understand what he said till later we listened to the recording. And someone said that Bhaktivinoda Thakur will be very pleased because his vision was to see people from all over the world dancing together in Mayapur. And then Prabhupada commented, and I have brought them, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur, by his mercy, he will deliver all of them. So we can depend on that. We're connected to all the acharyas, not the least of which is the great Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So we pray for his mercy. Let's take advantage of this month, Bhaktivinoda Thakur month, to do the lion's share of what we need to do to get to our 7,301. 7,000, I hope I'm not misrepresenting and adding more on. 7,000 and what? 301. So you can volunteer, each one of you, for the one. And then the rest will take care of itself. Thank you very much. Sharira Vijajal, Jodendra Tahikal, Jibebele Vishashagare, Taramadye Divayati, Lovamoy Sudurmati, Takajita Katina Shangshare, Krishna Varadoy Moy, Gori Bari Jihojai, Shapashar and Dilobai, Shenamrita Pao, Radha Krishna Gunagao, Remedako Chaitanya Nitai. Ma Prasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Salpa Punya Vatan Rajan Vishwasona Vijayate Prasade Sarvadhukanam Hanyurasyo Prajayate Prasana Chetpaso Yashu Puriparya Pratishta Chaitayupa Bhukta Sratganda Vasalankara Charchita Uttishta Bojino Dasa Tava Mayam Jahemahi Shusham Prayushitam Vapi Nityam Bhadradeshta Prapti Matrena Bhoktavyam Nasakala Vicharanana Desha Niya Mastatrana Kala Niya Mastatra Praptamanam Chamshishta Bhoktaran Harit Abhide Bhagavat Shri Mahaprasad Ki Goprimanande Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Please come take prasadam. Hare Krishna.